From more storms to more heat and humidity, we've got a wild pattern shift coming our way from that to, dare I say, fall-like temperatures across parts of the southeast. Hi, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice. Plus, I've got your comments. Wow, you guys showed up in our last video and let me know where in the world you're watching from, which is fantastic to me and fascinating to me. Folks, we're going to cover it all right here because there's a lot to talk about, including an active pattern this week that's going to give us a chance for storms. Not only on top of that, we're also watching what's going on in the tropics. There's a couple of interesting signals from our models that continue to hint that there's something we need to keep an eye on as we go deeper into August because the Atlantic does appear to be coming alive a bit. Folks, if you're new to this channel and you don't follow me already, please go ahead and subscribe or follow this channel right now. Like this video and comment in the comment section. I'm having fun with this. Every time you comment, I am reading them and I'm able to read them off on the next video. So I'm going to be able to showcase you wherever you're watching from. And so many of you are watching right now in the islands. I am watching out for you for tropical season right now, keeping an eye on all things that develop, including these waves that may just impact your weather, but also the big guys that you know that we're going to be tracking down the road. Let's talk about what's going on back in the Carolinas, Georgia, Florida, and the Southeast in general as we go throughout the next 24 hours, because we're going to have storms that'll form. Same story on Friday, but Friday does come with a catch. There's going to be the potential for some of those storms being slow movers and unfortunately giving us a threat for flash flooding. So here's the way it goes tomorrow. It's going to be a hot and humid day. This front is starting to take shape back toward the Midwest. It begins to actually get a little bit of momentum behind it, and by Friday, it's on the move. And by Friday, it's still very hot and humid across the southeast. So what's going to happen here is this front moves into areas that are very muggy, warm, and unstable. It's going to spark off some thunderstorms that are going to be very slow moving. And that could lead to some flooding in some locations that I'm afraid could be a bit on the significant side in some locations because of just how much rain we get. For example, tonight it is absolutely pouring in many areas of the Carolinas, and we've had upwards of 4 inches of rain in a matter of 3 or 4 hours. You get another 1 or 2 of those back to back, that's when you get some trouble. But look at this high pressure, this big sprawling high pressure. That's typical for what you'd see going into the fall. That high moves in behind it, and we get a little bit of a backdoor front that sends the heaviest rain to you folks in South Georgia, Florida. That's where the humidity is going to be as well, while the Carolinas are going to sit some 25 to 30 degrees cooler, folks. I mean, it's going to feel like early October. You'll take a road trip this weekend, go to the upstate of South Carolina, western North Carolina. It is apple season after all. Go to Charlotte. It's going to be in the mid to upper 70s for highs. Way below where we should be and way below where we have been. How about the risk? Yeah, it does come with a risk, especially into Friday. We've got a level 2 medium risk for flash flooding. It is not going to be a complete washout on Friday, but there will be some rounds of heavy rain that could just be too much in parts of the Carolinas and could cause some flash flooding in some locations. So let's map out rainfall totals. This is a fresh model run here from the Weather Prediction Center, kind of calculating all that we have going on over the next 5 to 7 days. And in this case, we're going to have 2 to 4 inches of rain as an average. Now, I say that some areas, like my yard specifically, had 1.5 inches tonight. Other areas in the Carolinas have had close to 4 inches. So that's going to be an average, folks, an average. But you look on here, 4.5 to 5 inches in Horry County, Myrtle Beach, the Grand Strand up through Wilmington. That could cause some flooding, especially when some areas could get more than that when you get back-to-back thunderstorms in some of those locations. So something we'll be keeping a close eye on. The good news is here, our big, dangerous heat wave, heat dome is collapsing. It has been brutal hot across Florida, especially today with extreme heat warnings. Not so much moving forward. Now, don't get me wrong. It's going to be silly hot still, just not that hot, okay? So Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, we got some storms. Going into Friday, those storms are a little more prevalent, a little more of a punch to them with some heavy rainfall. Now, Saturday is not going to be a dry day in the Carolinas. It's going to be kind of that misty, drizzly rain. enough to turn your windshield wipers on 1 or 2 notches, but the heavier rain on Saturday will be found here across South Georgia, from Savannah to the Panhandle of Florida. And again, if you're on vacation, taking travels, it's not going to be a washout in these areas, but do count on that rain, especially late Saturday. Now, going into Sunday, that front still sits right here, so we're mainly dry on the north and east side of that, mainly wet along the I-20 corridor, and that's going to activate again going into Sunday, Monday. And then Monday, Tuesday, and the next week, we're back to typical pop-up storm type stuff. I tell you what, the storms here lately have been extremely electrical. So let's look at the lightning density with these storms. They're going to calm down tonight, then going into tomorrow, here is noontime. There's some very electrical storms across the Tennessee Valley, up through Kentucky, into the Western Carolinas. And look at this. Yet another night show possible in the evening, 4 to 7 o'clock. There's some lightning, then it simmers down. Look at this, though. By the time we get into Friday, this is going to be an electrically charged front. I think we're going to have a lot of electricity out of this. Very, very electrical storms Friday afternoon and Friday evening. There's just a lot of juice in the atmosphere. I mean, these are thousands of lightning strikes, these densities here across Columbia, I-20 corridor, southern part of the upstate, into Augusta, and then west into Atlanta, into Birmingham. These are very, very, very electrical storms into Friday night. Now, we're not done. Saturday, that's pushed down to the south. Now, notice that wedge boundary is across the Western Carolinas, and these areas could certainly have more drier, more cooler air. But the farther south you go, those storms are going to be a little more volatile, and that'll give some areas a lot more electricity in these storms. So that would be pushed down to the south Saturday into Sunday. How about temperature anomaly? I mean, this is from normal. We've been so far above normal in these reds, just baking. Look at these blues and greens coming in. Those are below normal temperatures Saturday, Sunday, some 10, 15 degrees below normal. Remember, normal for most communities is 90, so we're talking 75, 76 degrees Saturday. How about Saturday night into Sunday? I mean, there are parts of western North Carolina that could be in the 50s, even upper 40s. I mean, way, way, way below normal. Sunday afternoon, some 10 to 15 degrees below normal. Let's look at what it feels like because, again, that heat's not going anywhere into Thursday. Those apparent temperatures, the heat index, back up above 100 degrees for everybody south of 85 in the Carolinas and Georgia. You got a bunch of 107s, 108s in here in the southern part of the upstate through Charleston. Now going into Friday, same story. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. That boundary setting up shop. So anywhere south of there is going to be 100 plus. But then that starts to erode away, and by Saturday, you've got some cooler air beginning to move on in. And in fact, that cooler air is going to bring those temperatures down over the weekend into the 70s. Here's a fresh look at the 10 to 15-day forecast here from the GFS. 70s in the Western Carolinas and Georgia. Saturday, Sunday, back up to the 80s. Then looks like early next week, still sitting below normal. And then we try to warm back up to at least near normal. That's the new outlook here for August 5th through the 9th for the Carolinas. As you go toward Florida, I'm sorry, I've got nothing for you. I wish I had a little bit of cooler air for you, but it does not look like we're going to see much of that make it past, say, middle Georgia. All right, the tropics. There are officially no areas that are highlighted right now from the National Hurricane Center, but we know better than that. There's at least something to watch out there. As you see from the satellite imagery, there's a lot of juice back here at home. There's no doubt about that. Now, does that spawn something offshore and it kick out? Possibly. The Caribbean, the models have been showing. We need to watch it for you folks in Central America. Who's watching right now? Just go ahead and put it in the comment section. Are you watching from anywhere in Central America? Anybody from the islands? I'm talking Cuba to the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Puerto Rico, Windward Islands, Leeward Islands, all the way down to Trinidad and Tobago. You guys have been showing up and showing out. Bahamas, you've been showing up. I even had somebody watching from Bermuda the other day. How cool is that? Let's look closer at this wave that is forming way down here. Now, it's got some structure to it. It doesn't have a lot of organization. It's blowing up with the daytime heat, then collapsing back down. That doesn't have enough sustaining power to keep it going in a hostile environment with some wind shear and dry air. You see this little blurb right here? That's the European trying to showcase that, okay? It's got just a little hole right there among higher pressure. Doesn't really show anything until it gets right in here. That's that same wave this weekend. Going into Saturday, Sunday, do we have low enough pressure in here? This area has become a little bit of a hotbed. In fact, what's new this year, and what I really like, is the Climate Prediction Center, the folks at NOAA, have started issuing these new advisories, basically giving us a look at where they're concerned about over the next 2 weeks. And today they issued, let's look at it here for the tropical basin. They've issued this. Here we go, pulling it up for you. So week 1 would be that first week of August. It's got a big area highlighted here across the southeast coast. That would be August 6th through 10th, possible development there. So basically they're highlighting an area that is favorable for development. Now after that, the models have been showing we got to watch the main development region. Does this area begin to get a lot more active? Now, the chances being this far out are still low, but it's just areas that are hot spots that basically tell me as a meteorologist, we need to stay dialed in on this. So as we look at our models, as we unpack them, we know there's lower pressure in here in that same area that the Climate Prediction Center, the folks at NOAA, are saying, hey, this looks dangerous. This looks like something we need to watch. So moving forward here, this would be something that could have some lower pressure Tuesday, Wednesday, into the 5th, 6th time frame. How close to the Carolinas does it get? Is it very strong? Not really. And then deeper into the European land here, you've got that secondary time frame I just showed you from NOAA with those waves, and a couple of those try to make a little southern jog here going toward the islands. And this looks like a low pressure. Is it tropical? Is it not? Too early to say, but that time frame of August 10th through the 14th looks to be a hot spot in here. Southeast coast prior to that. All right, let's look at the ensemble of the European. I'm going to back it up for a full run. Now, what you're seeing here is basically the worst case scenario on all 51 different runs of the model. So what are they saying? The worst case scenario, the strongest storm this thing could be, hard to even identify a low pressure at this point until you get toward that 8th, 9th, 10th time frame. And again, that's that time frame we just saw highlighted by NOAA right here off the southeast coast. Does it pull away, or is there some other features here that need to be watched? Going into the 10th, 11th, 12th. Got a little something in the Gulf, a little something off the Bahamas, and again, a little something north of Puerto Rico. Some of those waves that try to come toward the west. So a couple of the model runs, the European, want to show some action for the southeast going into that August 10th through 14th time frame. If I average out all the different runs of the European, those chances are pretty meager right now, folks. So they're 20%-ish, and it doesn't have a lot of staying power once it gets in here to the islands. So this is a pretty hostile environment as it stands right now. There's Saharan dry dust. There's also some wind shear in this area. So we're not expecting much to develop there. Does something off or around the southeast coast start to kick up around that 5th, 6th, 7th time frame? European says yes. And it shows that it would probably go away from the United States. Let's look at that closer. Here's a look at those models. I'm going to rewind it because I always start first with it wide to kind of show where they end up. But as we rewind this tape, like I'm watching football, a couple of waves here need to be watched. Do they form into something tropical? It looks like all of these form off the Carolina coast and go away, while a couple of these waves are coming toward the islands, toward that August 6th, 7th, 8th time frame. A lot of them keep them weak, but at least there is something we need to keep an eye on. How about our GFS counterparts? What are they saying? Well, their latest model, again, shows very little low pressure features. Saharan dust, wind shear kind of helping things out. There's a feature right there on the 8th. All right. What about that 10th, 11th, 12th time frame? Again, similar to the European, there are several runs here that are showing activity. Where it's at, where it's going, way too early to say. At this point, like I do in the wintertime with snow forecasting, we're looking for patterns. We're looking for pattern recognition, and is there a chance, is there not a chance, and is there something to watch or is there not something to watch? In this case, yeah, there's something to watch on both of our reliable computer models, the GFS and the European, in that 10th, 11th, 12th time frame. All right, how about the German model? Again, if you've watched me here lately, you know that the German model has actually done pretty well at identifying earlier threats. Let's see where this is going. There's a big slug of moisture in the Atlantic. Tropical wave going to the west, north of the islands, never really co-locates in anything. Gets absorbed by some wind shear. Nothing much there. Here we are through the 6th, 7th. It's got another beefier wave right there that we need to pay attention to. So far, so good on the tropics. It's just, we got some stuff to watch. We at least got some things to watch in the coming days. And folks, you know I'm going to stay on top of every storm that could possibly form and come toward us. If you're new to this channel, please like this video. Comment in this video where you're watching from, subscribe, and go ahead and turn on those notifications because that does help you stay informed when something is likely to be issued. In this case, where we're looking at for some possible development again. And again, I want to read some of the comments from last video because you guys are just showing up and showing out where you're at. And I'm very thankful that where you're watching from right now, you're able to do that. So we got Robert here watching from Goldsboro. He says, looking forward to some rain this weekend and cooler weather. Thanks for all you do to keep us safe, Rob. Thank you so much, Rob. I appreciate that. My yard, my family are looking forward to being outside and not just getting soaked with sweat and the heat, right? Love getting to see you read out the comments. Watching your videos is the best way to start my day. Well, thank you so much. That means so much. Kit Nut Moo. I love the cat picture there. Thank you from West Florida. You are very welcome, D. Lemons. Bless you for the hard work you do for people, Frank Sandry. Thank you. Christopher says, thank you for keeping us posted, Chris. Whilst we do watch the other weather-related channels, we lean and trust you because you cover our state with greater detail. Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Where are you watching from, I might ask? Maybe you can comment the next time. Is it Florida, Carolinas? South Carolina girl living and watching from Orlando. It's nice to hear and see someone from home. Aw, thank you. Orlando is one of our favorite places, so I call it our second home as well. We love our travels to Orlando. We got Atlanta, Georgia in the house. I learned a lot about hurricanes from you. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, we got to watch them. You know that even as far inland as Atlanta, in Metro, we can get impacted by some tropical storms, tropical activity. Finally got some rain in the southern foothills last night. I love your daily videos. Keep pumping them out. We need to be informed. Thank you so much. God bless you and your family. Steve, thank you so much. So kind. We've got melting here in Palm Harbor, Florida. Thanks for keeping us informed. You're so welcome. Watching from Mooresville, North Carolina. You are my go-to weather channel. Oh, thank you for saying that. All right, we got a shout out here. My 16-year-old son, Will, and I always watch your videos when you post them. We are in Brunswick, Georgia. We thank you for all that you do. He absolutely loves watching all things weather-related. Thank you so much. Oh, you are so welcome. Will, hello to you. Keep up the good work. I was your age when I really honed in on my weather fascination. Grew up in the mountains of North Carolina, so seeing snow, having snow in the forecast, it just really fueled my passion. I'd ask, what is your favorite kind of weather? I'm guessing in Brunswick, you're very tuned into anything tropical. And by the way, St. Simon Islands is one of our favorite places to go to. So we're always passing through Brunswick and grabbing some food and all the good stuff. All right, I like the global outlook being in Mount Pleasant during hurricane season. I'm always watching the Atlantic, and I think you do a great job with looking. Also, keep up the great work. You are very welcome there, Joe Retired 4552. We got Taylorsville, North Carolina in the house. Carolyn watching. We got Greenwood, South Carolina. Noah says thank you and God bless you. We got Angelo from the Palm Coast of Florida. You know, there's some great people in Palm Coast, Florida. We actually broke down on the way back from spring break with my family last year and hobbled off the interstate, just hobbled off the interstate right there. There was a gas station right there, an auto shop within the gas station, and they were so kind to us. It was really hot, helped my kiddos out, and got us back up and running. We ended up not being able to fix the car. I had to leave the car there. Got it shipped back home. Big story, big ordeal. But they were so kind. Everybody in Palm Coast, Florida. All right. Awesome info from South Central Florida. Sunny, thank you. Here on the Treasure Coast of Florida. Appreciate you so much. You're the best weatherman. Do super great job. Freddie, thank you. Upstate South Carolina foothills. Been seeing the 100-degree temps for way too long. So this weekend will be a treat. No doubt about it. Tired of the blazing heat in North Carolina, just outside of Chapel Hill. Thank you for watching outside Chapel Hill. Sure appreciate you. Southeast Louisiana in the house. Hi, Julie. Barnesville, Georgia. Thank you for watching. Cincinnati's in the house. Thanks for keeping us informed, Chris. 96, South Carolina. We got Dahlonega in the house, but family lives in Myrtle Beach. Thank you for tuning in. Currently in Hendersonville, but soon moving to Arkansas. All right. Stay safe on the move. It's going to be hot here in Florida. I'm working under the sun. Reef freak. Oh, man. Yeah, it's going to be certainly very hot just about anywhere you are. And even though it cools down in the Carolinas, it's still going to stay hot in Florida. From Mississippi, we got Bronson, Florida. Southeast Georgia, Anderson, Columbia. Planning to go to Tybee Island next weekend. Is there anything I should be watching regarding the weather? No, nothing to inhibit any kind of plans. Stay tuned if something changes, of course. But I love Tybee Island. In fact, lived on Tybee Island for 2 years. I worked in the Savannah market right out of college. Heat index on the Gulf Coast of Alabama reached 118. Yowza. Hope you stay cool there. We got Maria watching from Orlando, Florida. We got Ronald watching from Santa Fe, Texas. Chris, any rain for Sarasota, Florida in the near future? You don't have as much rain, unfortunately. You're going to be less hot in the coming days. And by that, I mean you're not going to be scorching, just scorching. Hope that helps. You'll get daily afternoon thunderstorm chances with the sea breeze, but nothing much of good substance like what we're going to get in the Carolinas. I'm watching from Alexander City, Alabama. Thank you, Freddie. Sebring, Florida. All right. Got Thomas County, Georgia. Ellenboro, North Carolina. Gainesville, Florida. Austin, Chase City, Virginia. We got Columbia, South Carolina. Clinton, South Carolina. It's summer. It's hot. It's humid. It's nothing new. It is a little new. This is a little different. This is broken records left and right there. I'd beg to differ there. Rafe Sevener. Meteorologists are the only people on Earth who get it wrong 90% of the time and still remain employed. Well, aren't you a bag of fun there, Full Circle Band? Man, oh man. I hate we had to end it on that. Let's go back to some of these nicer comments. No, it's okay. Hey, drop a comment for me right now. I'd love to say hello to you next video. Again, thank you guys for watching. It really does, make my day to read where all you're watching from. And, of course, my goal is always to keep you informed, and we will do that right here with another update tomorrow. I'll see you then.